Hey everyone, I'm Michael Brew at Asian Moves, and welcome to our Good to Great series. We're all about sharing amazing stories of top realtors and how they got there so we can help make more realtors great. So let's jump in today with Russ. Is it Collier?
Darn close, Cleo.
Colliau. Okay, I'm always with my name, Russ. No one can pronounce it right, so I'm sensitive to it. So beautiful.
I've embraced it for 50 years.
I wanted to make sure we got it right.
Yeah.
And we'll ask later because I do want to connect people on social media with you and all of that. So some really cool stuff about Russ. I love starting, these conversations, not about real estate. If you've watched any of these videos, Russ has some really cool stories. I think I can talk for about a half an hour, not real estate with Russ, but some really cool stuff. I'll say the last real Republican Party. Should we say that? No politics here, gang. But he had worked for the governor of California. As well as I think the state general, did some skydiving at 30, and he is sitting in Puerto Rico running a 200 agents within the country and, living the life that I think a lot of us would like to hear about, Russ. So give us a little bit about how you got here.
Yeah, well, it's fun too because we were talking earlier about the kids, and my youngest finished up college a year ago in May, so a little over a year ago. And our life as parents is all about the kids until they become adults and they're productive adults. So I was working on a mission statement, and my personal mission statement is to have every single real estate agent who enters my universe be financially, time, and location free within 5 years. I pulled it off within 3.5 once I had the plan, had the goal. That being said, how I got here into the real estate space is a pretty wild story because I never had an intention of being a real estate agent in retail. I got my first real estate license and maintained it in 1991 in California to do my own stuff. I ran the largest home inspection company, the largest mold, and one of the first mold investigation and testing firms, as well as a construction firm that catered to real estate back in the late 90s, early 2000s. And so I maintained the license and maintained the association. So I had a key card. So agents didn't have to come unlock for my team. I could go let my inspectors in, and it was just great customer service. And yet I had this plan, this goal, this desire to become one of the national coaches and trainers for Keller Williams based on some work I did with them. So retail production became part of that equation. And how I learned that, those pieces, how far down the rabbit hole do you want to go, Mike?
Well, you did talk about, I thought it was fascinating that you got that license and didn't do production for how many years?
That would have been 22.
Well, I mean, that's unlike anything,
Yeah,
okay?
22 years of having a license and never doing a retail deal.
That's crazy, right? And that's what these interviews are about, right? Finding something that's so unique about you, Russ, and that is really cool. So yeah, tell us how this is a good rabbit hole to go down because we'll get into the details, but you got into real estate, you started building a business, not being in production, you have 200 agents. So give us the beginning of this.
So here I am in Northern California in 2008 as running the largest home inspection company. And I had a great relationship with all the companies, especially though Keller Williams. Just a different vibe, different company, different attitude, different energy. And so they invited me to sponsor a program they were launching, a 1 day a week, 7 week program. They invited me to sponsor day one of this program called BOLT, Business Objective, A Life by Design. And so I show up to the beta version of this day one. And whenever I did a sponsorship for that, I had breakfast there, I had morning snacks, I had lunch. And my mother is a very high level competitive baker, and I'd have her do a whole set of sweet treats, and we'd after afternoon sweet treats. So I'm there all day in this content. And I'm going, this is not a real estate class. This is a business and life success class. And it really was. And everything they were teaching, I could repurpose in my home inspection space. And so I wound up signing up for this real estate class, through it 5 or 6 times when I was in Northern California. And even though 2008, 9, 10, 11, we all know what the market was like nationally. And by the way, Northern California lost 50% of their values. They were the first into the crash and the worst in the crash. And my home inspection company grew by a minimum of 40% a year based on what I was learning and implementing. Fell in love with the content. 2012, my wife and I decide we're going to make some changes. Late 2012, I reach out to friends at Keller Williams. How do I become a coach for this material, this bold material? got to reach out to Diana Kokoska. I track her down. I reach out to Diana, life changer for me. She says, talk to my son, Sean. He's doing that now. Talk to Sean. He says, you need to come and audition in February 2013 at our family reunion. Now, I know KW's headquartered Austin, Texas. So between November of 2012 and January of 2013, I liquidated all my real estate in Northern California, liquidated all my businesses in California, relocated my family to Austin, all before even auditioning for the job. So I do the audition, I get the green light, I'm going to become one of the bold coaches, and I go through about 60 days of their psychological work and their testing and their studying. And sometime in April, Sean goes, oh, by the way, Russ, we need to do the paperwork. Never even did the paperwork. He's a high D. Let's just get stuff done. I'm a high D. Let's just get. So I'm sitting in his office at his table, and he puts the paperwork in front of me, and it says at the top that all bold coaches will have 75 transactions a year for 3 years minimum in order to qualify. I look at Sean and go, I'm a home inspector.
Right.
He had never asked. I had sent him video of me teaching on national stages. He assumed they were real estate stages. So now I had to get into retail production. So in Texas, brand new city, Austin, where I didn't know a soul except Sean and one family member, I got my license in the first 90 days, had 25 listings and over 75 units my first year and every year after that with me and just an assistant. And so it can be done. It's about following models. It's about actually following in other people's footprints and footsteps rather than attempting to wing it and create it your own. If you just implement what exists to a high level and then plus it, magic's going to happen.
All right, all right. Hold on here now. Hold on, okay? So I do know a lot about Bold. I've actually interviewed one agent particularly, this woman, and you'll love this, being a Bold coach as you were, has Bold tattooed on her arm, where she can see it every day, like right here, okay? And she told me it was 3 or 4 times she went through it. So, and that is one of the things about Keller, the education, phenomenal. But stop for a minute. You went over this like it was nothing. Yes, this year one, you needed 75 transactions. Tell us about, yes, okay, it's a mindset. We know mindset, in this business is probably stronger than anything, right? Going at this. But now let's slow down for a minute and tell people watching this, what did you do? How did you get yourself set up to succeed with 75 transactions that first year?
So, and 25 listings in the first 90 days. So there's a
Crazy.
couple key components to this. One, and as you said, 90% of your success is mindset. 10% is skill set. And if you just get after the activities with a positive mindset, your skill sets will magically improve, which will magically improve your mindset and you're all of a sudden on this uphill spiral. And every agent that's watching and listening to this, you are paid in direct proportion to the number of conversations you have, period. That's the metrics. All the marketing, etc., is about driving inbound conversations. It still comes down to the conversations. So I need a pool of people ready to transact that I could be talking to on a regular basis. So expired, because that was taught in the bold content, and for sale by owners, which was taught in the bold content. Diana's original bold content, amazing, the best of the best. And so I got a data source, by the way, that I still am on to this day. 12 years later, I help other agents with it. And day one, call every expired, my CRM, 3x5 index cards, name, phone number, day one date. What did I do? Left a message, or here's what we talked about, whatever it was. And then that card went in a file box that was 1 through 15 or 16 through 31, as well as some tabs for months. And it went in 2 days from now. So, it went in the 24th tab. And so the next day I had a new pool of expireds, again, to start building relationship and calling, plus at the same time, doing the same thing with for sale by owners. And all of a sudden it was all day, every day, 8-10 hours a day, Monday through Saturday, because I had no employment that I planned on. I had no income that I planned on. I had 3 wonderful kids doing amazing things and very active, a wife going, what the hell? And so it was 8-10 hours a day until I had a raspy voice, having conversations over and over and over with expireds and for sale by owners. And I was either on an appointment or I was on the phone. And I didn't care about all the other superfluous crap. I knew I had to fill the funnel and drive the traffic. So 60, 75 days later, I've got chaos everywhere because I've never had a listing. I don't know how to handle listings. I got no systems. I'm getting paperwork signed and attended, and things are falling to the point where Mary Tennant, the CEO of Keller Williams, knows my name and wants my head. She wants me terminated. Okay? That's how much chaos I created in Austin. But here's the cool part. My team leader, Gail McGowan, again, a wonderful woman, said, hold on, Mary. Let me work with Russ to develop systems for his brand of chaos. That's the best thing. You get in this activity, you create the business to figure out where your blind spots, your weak spots are, and then you get the systems, processes, and people to fix your brand of chaos. And that's exactly what Gala helped me do. And we stabilized the ship, and I kept that lead generation machine going, and it turned into referrals and other business. And 3.5, 4 years later, I am back on the plan of being a bold coach, doing it at a high level, traveling the country, helping other agents do the same thing.
Totally incredible. I mean, I've done a lot of these. Yes, there is something about chaos, controlled chaos, possibly, but that
There was no control at
there was
first.
no control. Right. I was like, right. I mean, typically, as business people, you go in, people, process, systems, metrics. That's it, right? It's everything we do. You went in, no, I'm going to make this happen from your coaching. And then it was kind of, okay, now let's figure out how to put process around this. And, this guy obviously has magic, but we needed to kind of control the magic.
But think about how many agents out there get caught up in building systems, processes, and doing all that stuff, and they fail out because they never have the business. So when I'm working, let's just start a brand new agent, like Josh Wheelock, Huntsville, Alabama, great guy, Joshua Wheelock. He got his license 17 months ago. He got his license. He called me, okay, Russ, what do I do? And I talked to him about conversations. Well, I need to know how to do the paperwork. Do you have a listing? No. Do you have a buyer? No. Then you don't need the paperwork. Okay? Just get your ass into gear, have the conversations. He got his license on a Wednesday. Thursday, he's having conversations. Friday morning, I've got a listing appointment. I got a listing appointment Saturday afternoon. Okay, Josh, Friday morning we'll meet, or Saturday morning we'll meet. And we've spent 2.5 hours going through the listing process because now he needed it.
That's right.
And he picked up the listing in this horrible market. Josh, as a brand new agent, has already put 30 plus deals on the board, doing the work, following the model.
Awesome. I mean, just freaking awesome. Okay. Give us now something you wouldn't do again because you've done so much. You've had to have tried so many things, something that other agents don't do.
It's a tough one for me because I never see anything as a failure or mistake. It's feedback. So it's just all I'm learning is how not to do it right. I will give you this one though, and it's one of my freaking house rules as a coach. Do not spend a penny on leads. Don't go buy leads. Instead, spend money on a marketing or marketing partner or marketing dollars to create your own systems, your own funnels to drive your own leads. So I got a great agent that I'm working on bringing over that I've known forever out of Northern California. I talked to her last Friday, and she's in freaking meltdown because she joined a team. So she's giving up 30-40% of her revenue. They're buying Zillow leads, giving up 30-40% of the revenue there. So she's doing deals and making such minimal money. She's got 2 jobs and applying for a third. Just darn it, invest in yourself. There's no magical potion out there that you're going to write a check and get magical leads coming in the door. It doesn't exist. Knock off spending money on the shiny objects, focus on the foundation, build it, then add the marketing to drive more.
Love it. That's exactly, I mean, there's a million things that we're getting out of this interview. Great nuggets, right? If you can get one, it's a home run, but some great ones here. Tell me about, I love that, right? Love that. Totally believe in it. Hey, if people that are into Zillow ads, they can run through a platform, whatever it is that is working for you. Well, maybe you weren't doing some of these other things that you could have been doing to not spend that kind of money. Talk to me about your database. because that's
Awesome.
where, right? That is where I thought, and it was interesting for a second. I thought you were going to talk to me about, from your home inspection and so forth that you've built. You had names, but you're in a different market now. You go to Austin, right? And you're no one. You know no
Yeah.
one. Tell me about how you build that database and then how you're marketing against it.
If I can throw in one other nugget, giving money to Zillow would be like people in Germany giving money to the Nazi party. Zillow wants to kill you. They want to drive you out of business. That's their business model, is to get rid of you. Stop giving them your money. Now, database. Absolutely. There's four foundational cornerstones of real estate success. A calendar schedule is one. We can talk about that sometime. Database is number two. And so most agents don't realize just how vast their database is because they never compiled it. So I taught and implement, you need to look through the lens of who knows you, not who do you know. And so I work with my agent population to compile that. I only know a couple hundred people. I usually have them look at their phone, at their contacts, and just how many people were so important they saved their name and number. And it's usually a four-figure number. Okay. Then we have to lovingly do what I call the dance with the database. Again, we're paid in direct proportion to the number of conversations I have, right? And I do the same thing when I'm recruiting and working my recruiting database. 6 steps, just like, any country line dance, there's specific steps, right, Mike? Step 1, open the contact. Step 2, review the notes. There might not be any right now. Step 3, make the call. Step 4, log the notes. Step 5, set the next task. So your CRM tells you when to call them again or text them again, or to get this communication model going that you're going to be doing. A lot of times overlaid by other people's automation, which is amazing. Step 6, close the contact. Step 1, open the contact. Step 2, review the notes. Step 3, make the call. Step 4, log the notes. Step 5, set the task. Step 6, close the contact. Open a contact. Review the notes, make the call, log the notes, set the task, close the contact. I just run, and all my folks that are highly successful run 2 to 10 hours a day of 6 steps, 6 steps, 6 steps, 6 steps. And if you do that with any database system, you will have success to the point where you won't be able to handle the volume. And now you've got to have some other leverage, automation, something.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. And that is interesting. Spoke to you a little bit about you're here, right? This is an agent moves, video. And it's the automations. You're spot on. Interesting you brought that up. But again, other agents can't feel that, right? You're at just a different level. And that's what we're looking for. What's making a guy like you successful so people can, glam onto that and say, man, I want a piece of this guy, Russ, and how he's doing it. So as you got to this, the leverage, perfect, right?
Yeah.
Right. You need leverage as you're doing this and as you're growing, and automation becomes massive leverage so you can just continue conversations, get out of process, get out of, right, all of this stuff, and automate as much as you can so you can spend as much time having conversations.
So one of my nuggets to help people make that move and move quickly, because most don't know how to make that shift, Michael, is what I call the magic pending number. So one of the things that I have discovered through my years of coaching and analyzing people data is they need to have X number of pending at all times. So that's their magic pending number to achieve their financial needs. So let's say they need $240,000 a year. Let's say they're in a $400,000 average price point with a 2.5% average commission rate. That means they need 24, 25 units. Their magic pending number is just 3. So if they get 3 and keep 3 at all times through the year, which means 6 pipeline. And for me, a pipeline is a signed listing, either on the market, not on the market yet, or a signed, qualified, ready to go buyer. So you need 6 people in the pipeline, 3 pending will come from that automatically. You'll hit your goal. Those things start showing up, the 3 and 6, and you've got that stabilized. Now you can shift some of your time, effort, and finances into getting the leverage going so you can scale. And that's what got me free to where now my leverage is 200 agents so far that I'm pouring into every day, that I'm coaching, teaching, training, holding accountable, making sure they're following the models so we can all benefit and ultimately all get free. And my goal for them is to have the same life I do. Do what they want, when they want, with who they want, wherever they want, for whatever reason they want.
I mean, that model, like you opened up with in the beginning, that this is what you want them to accomplish within 5 years. Love it. I mean, it is just, brilliant and beautiful and shows right away. You have a goal, you're setting a goal, not helping them set the goal, which I can tell meeting hundreds of agents is definitely a challenge on the agent side, right? It's not this mindset that they might typically have until they get it going. Once they're rocking, it's a different story, right? Once they're doing some big numbers, they all of a sudden start setting some stretch goals, and now, right? But in those earlier days, not a lot of that going on.
That being said, though, even the general agent population, almost every office or team or anything else they're a part of has one goal, and that's to get them on the hamster wheel and keep them going. I mean, one of my favorite questions to ask agents is, how many real estate agent retirement parties have you been invited to? Right? You got this, and we have them in every market, that the photo's 40 years old. They're still out there slinging real estate to supplement Social Security. They never are going to get free. And man, this industry allows you to get free if you will just let it.
Beautiful. Beautiful way to end it. I love this, Russ. We can talk forever. This was just awesome. Tell us about where to follow. Anyone wants to follow you on social or check out your coaching. What should they look for?
Okay. Colliau. Us, Russcolliau. Most days I got like 5,000 agents around the country that still have me stored in their phone as Coach Russ. You can absolutely find me on YouTube. I was checking my YouTube channel yesterday, working with somebody to get some help because I just really got it going. I got like 143 subscribers. That's it. I got 2,100 videos up there because we've been recording all the stuff we do and getting it up. So you can find me on YouTube. Find me with email at russcolliau.com. Find me on Facebook. I'm doing better, kids, with Instagram, and my daughter's on me to get TikTok set up. So I'm working on it, and I'll slowly close out my MySpace account. Give me some slack.
All right, you and who's the original guys on MySpace from like one of the boy bands or whatever it might have been, right?
Exactly. Now,
Showing.
Facebook I use a lot. Insta, getting better. And obviously I'm on LinkedIn as well. And yeah, absolutely happy to help. And again, if you're watching this, my mission statement was to have every agent who enters my universe be financially, time, and location free within 5 years. If you reach out, you enter my universe. If you'll stay in a conversation, I'm happy to help.
Love it. Russ, thank you so, so much. Can't wait to get this video out there. Follow Russ, please. Follow Agent Moves on our YouTube channel. Subscribe. You'll see Russ there as well soon. And again, thank you so much for the time, Russ. I know I learned a lot and loved it.
As did I. Appreciate you inviting me anytime. Happy to come back.
Thanks again.